Hi everyone, and welcome back to our virtual trip around the US where we are on a mission to uncover the most iconic dishes from every state. Our next stop on this trip is Arkansas, and yes, I know Arizona should technically be next because we're going in alphabetical order, but trust me, I'm skipping it for now for a good reason. After consulting with some family who lived in Arkansas for a while, we are going to be making deep fried catfish and hush puppies as our iconic dish today. And while we are cooking up this catfish, allow me to tell you about how we chose the dish and about Arkansas's interesting food culture. Hang in there because this story has a chapter I didn't see coming. The first thing I'm making is some tartar sauce to go along with the catfish. Okay, so let's get into it. Given the location of the state, it should be no surprise that soul food and Southern cuisine in general is a very integral part of Arkansas's food culture. Fried catfish and hush puppies is a beloved and important dish throughout the South. And even though Mississippi is considered the catfish capital of the world, Arkansas's contributions to the fried catfish world cannot be ignored. Interestingly, this isn't the only crossover between Mississippi and Arkansas cuisine, but more on that later. According to the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, catfish are present in almost all Arkansas waters. And hush puppies are the iconic pairing for fried catfish. While I was making these dishes, it became very apparent why they're such an iconic pairing because the ingredients between the two are very similar. Hush puppies are a mix of a thick cornmeal batter that is deep fried right with the fish. Because catfish is so abundant, it has long been and continues to be an important staple for southern states, including Arkansas. Today, I'm going to make catfish fried in cornmeal because that's actually how I remember eating it. I went to Arkansas a few times when I was younger, and really my most vivid memories of these trips was fried catfish and cornmeal and hush puppies. At that time, I hadn't really eaten anything like that before, and I just remember really enjoying it and knowing that it was something special and unique to where we were visiting. Arkansas is not just known for catfish and hush puppies, though. It has a rich food culture, which is very interesting. In fact, Arkansas is the largest producer of rice in the United States. In some rural areas of Arkansas, many people enjoy eating rice for breakfast with some sugar on top. I also learned about something called chocolate gravy, which is just as it sounds. It's a breakfast dish that's served with biscuits, and you make a chocolate sauce that goes on top. Sounds good. I also learned that tamales, of all things, are a very important part of Arkansas food culture. I was not expecting that at all and was so intrigued to find out more about this. When I was digging into it, I also learned that in Mississippi, tamales are quite popular as well. And so between Arkansas and Mississippi, the style of tamales and the influence of tamales is slightly different. So I think I actually want to do a separate episode just on this topic because I was just so mind blown to learn that tamales were so important and such a big thing down there. Kind of along the same lines, perhaps one of the most beloved dishes to come out of Arkansas is Arkansas cheese dip. That's right, you heard me correctly, cheese dip. Not to be confused with queso. No, 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 totally different thing. Cheese dip is a local phenomenon and the people from Arkansas love it. The origins are hotly debated, and while the people from Arkansas believe that cheese dip came before queso, I think the Tex-Mex neighbors think something else. It was said to be invented in 1935 at a restaurant called Mexico Chiquito. And again, not to be confused with queso, although it is served at Mexican restaurants, but it's also served at bars, local restaurants. Basically, it sounds like it's served everywhere. Cheese dip is so beloved in Arkansas that there have been countless articles and even a documentary made on this famous dip. I had no idea that it was so popular in Arkansas. I actually really didn't know much about Arkansas or its food culture before beginning this video, and I love learning about it. It's so interesting, and it's so fun to see what each state has to offer. Okay, so quick note on making the catfish or anything deep fried for that matter. Typically, best practice is to keep one hand for your wet ingredients and one hand for your dry ingredients, because otherwise you'll end up with a sticky, gluey mess. And I was doing my best to try and do that, except then I stopped paying attention and I got confused. And as you'll see here, I ended up with really messy hands. So anyways, just a quick tip. But this turned out so good. I loved making the catfish. We really enjoyed eating it. And it wasn't too hard, actually. I deep fried everything in a Dutch oven. And you actually can make the hush puppies right in there with the catfish if you have room. I ended up doing it in batches, but the same pot worked great. If you're working in batches, preheat your oven to 225 and place the finished catfish on a baking dish to keep it warm. Season with salt immediately after removing from your Dutch oven and garnish with pickles, raw onion slices, lemon, tartar sauce, and hot sauce. Okay, everyone, the moment we've been waiting for, my daughter's review. She told me she really didn't want to try the catfish, so I'm not going to force her. But she is going to try the hush puppies. So let's see. What do you think, girl? Oh.
It's really good.
Okay, everyone, now I'm going to try the catfish. Here we go. I know it doesn't count if you review your own food, but it's good. Okay, so here's some bonus feature if you're still watching. I had to find out what this cheese dip was all about. So with Super Bowl Sunday being yesterday, I ended up making it, and it actually turned out so good. I see why it is not queso. It starts with a roux, so some butter and flour, and then you mix in milk, real American cheese, and a bunch of spices. It also included a squirt of ketchup, which I found to be interesting, but it was really tasty. I don't know if this is the exact recipe because all of the recipes from the restaurants are highly secretive, but this was said to be the closest copycat recipe to the Mexico Chiquito restaurant. Hope you enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. Comment down below if you agree with this iconic dish from Arkansas. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are and what iconic dishes you have in your state. Thank you so much. Please subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.